What's going on, guys? It's Steve. So this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Now, I'm going to talk about the main title of the video in a second, but the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Golden State Warriors. So does this mean that the OKC Thunder are a threat to the Golden State Warriors? And the answer to that is they've been a threat since the beginning because they're the second best team in the Western Conference. We all understand that. Now, just because they beat them in one game doesn't mean that they're going to beat them in a best of 7. Although I do have my hopes up because from what I've seen, Melo is unguardable. I mean, come on. PG is unguardable. And when Russell Westbrook plays aggressive like that, in people's faces like we know him to, this team is going to be unstoppable. But the same can be said with Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant and the rest of them because, let's be real, both teams are extremely well. Golden State has a track record. OKC just got started. But it was a very entertaining game. Sorry for not uploading yesterday on Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving. Not really an excuse to not upload, but I was just, whatever. Anyway, this is the dumbest article I've ever seen in my entire life. So, and the article is titled, Carmelo Anthony is the most I'll leave the article, the link in the article in the description below. But it says Carmelo Anthony is the most overrated player of the past decade. Let's take that in for a second. Pretty much what he means by this. Now, he doesn't mean by the last decade because I read the article like 5 times trying to find any little bit of proof. He gives no statistics, no proof, no evidence, no information whatsoever. It's just nonsense. He says Carmelo Anthony is the most overrated player in the last decade. But what he really means is Carmelo Anthony is the most overrated player of all time. Now, I already made a video on who really is the most overrated player of all time. I'm not going to say it. If you guys are a long-time subscriber, you know who it is. You can leave it in the comment section below. But yeah, this guy thinks Carmelo Anthony is the most overrated player of all time. So let me just tell you briefly, pretty much trying to sum up this ridiculous article. And you can tell by the picture that this dude is never, whatever. The people that make these type of articles never played ball in real life. Never even probably touched a basketball. They probably don't even know how to shoot a damn ball. But anyway, so this is his arguments, okay? There are probably 3 arguments. He says 1, he never wins. Okay. Let's talk about that. He said he doesn't make his teammates better. He doesn't make his teams better. So let's first tackle not making his teams better. He gets drafted in 2003. The 2002-2003 season, the Nuggets don't make the playoffs. They draft Carmelo Anthony in June. 2003-2004, they have a plus 25 record with Melo, meaning they won 25 more games. Oh, and what's that? He made the playoffs. He made the playoffs 11 straight years. 7 of those years in the Western Conference. Going up against the likes of Kobe, Dirk, Timmy. Yeah, those type of players. Some of the greatest of all time. Okay, so this whole, he doesn't help his team. He doesn't help his team. Go the last 4 years when the Knicks didn't make the playoffs. Look at their record without Carmelo Anthony. And you'll see why they didn't make the playoffs and how bad those teams were in the past 4 years. You'll see why they did not make the playoffs those last 4 years. You'll see why. Look at the record. There's something along the lines of 7 and 50-something without Melo. Can you believe that? Now let's talk about he doesn't make his teammates better. Okay. And then he gave this quote by Chauncey Billups. And he takes this quote so out of context, it's ridiculous. This guy brings up the quote when Chauncey says, Melo's a great player, he's a great leader, but he's not the type of leader to rally everyone up and get everyone hype. What Chauncey means by that is Melo's a great player, and Chauncey said, he's the greatest player I've ever played with. He's saying Melo's the best player I've ever played with. He's a great leader, but he's not the type of leader to get everyone hype and rally up. He's pretty much saying he leads by example. He is the prime example of his name. He is Melo. He's calm and collective. And that's why the dude is so damn clutch. Too much emotion, you're going to start to shake. But anyway, he takes that so out of context. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. And let's talk about not making his teammates better. Okay. Let's talk about not making his teammates better. The New York Knicks. Didn't J.R. Smith win 6th Man of the Year with Carmelo Anthony? Didn't Tyson Chandler win Defensive Player of the Year with Carmelo Anthony? Oh, wait a minute. Weren't Kristaps Porzingis' stats the last 2 years when Melo was on the team better while Melo was on the floor compared to when Melo was off of the floor? Oh, right, they were. Every single argument this dude has made is complete nonsense. Now let's focus on this. This is literally what he said. I'm not even joking. This is his argument. He said Melo. You could tell he don't watch basketball. This is what he said. I don't know how some of these people get hired. This is what he said. He said Carmelo Anthony is not a great scorer, or at least he's not as great as people say he is, because he's the third option on the Oklahoma City Thunder. So therefore, he must not be a great scorer. That's literally what he said in his article. I'm not even taking it out of context. That's literally exactly what he said. So Carmelo Anthony is not a great scorer because he's the third option, first of all. Can we rewind? If you even watch Oklahoma City games, you'll realize that Carmelo Anthony is actually most of the time either the first or the second option on this team. Paul George's career high, his career high is 23 points per game as the number one option on his team. He averages like 18 points per game for his career. I'm not knocking Paul George. I'm not going at Paul George. Just listen, hear me out. Melo's career average is 25 over 15 seasons. He's this, and then he says, oh my goodness. And then he says, first of all, Melo averaged 25 in 15 years. The greatest offensive talent I've ever seen in my life. You can say Kevin Durant, whatever. It's either one of those two. Because Melo's footwork, his playmaking, this dude is just so good at scoring the ball. But anyway, I simply cannot believe people say this. This is what he said. He said Carmelo Anthony, another reason why Melo isn't such a great scorer is because of how low his field goal percentage is. So does that mean a 45% career shooter, 45% from the field, 33% from three, or it might be higher than that from three, and like 80-something% from the free throw line are terrible percentages according to this dude. So according to this guy, Kobe Bryant ain't a great scorer. According to this guy, Paul Pierce ain't a great scorer. Tracy McGrady ain't a great scorer. Is that what you're saying? You see the logic? You see how people just try to twist things just to make Melo look bad? I know why you did that. Because you're trying to get as much attention on your article as possible. Because whenever someone brings up Carmelo Anthony, oh my gosh, it's Melo, let me click. So, oh wait, most people don't like Melo, so let me hate on him. That's all I see right here. That's all I see. Because I didn't see one fact that you gave in that entire article. None. You said Melo's not that great of a scorer because he's the third option. If you even watch the games, most of the time he's the first or second option. And even Russell freaking Westbrook said that himself. He's a terrible scorer because he averages 45% from the field for his career. Oh, Kobe's terrible too then, I guess. Tracy McGrady's bad too, right? Paul Pierce is bad. Every dominant player in the league is bad. Are you serious? I guess Russell Westbrook ain't great either. He doesn't have 50% shooting from the field. I guess he's terrible. I guess James Harden sucks. See the logic? What kind of logic is this guy? And then this is what he said. He talked, and you know something that he doesn't even take into account in terms of the field goal percentage? You compare the type of shots LeBron takes compared to what Melo takes. Who takes the tougher shots? So if Melo took the type of shots LeBron took, I guarantee you Melo would shoot 60% from the field. Just the logic behind some of these people, man. It's just doesn't make sense to me. The logic, the things people do to try and hate on people. Like what they're doing to Lonzo Ball. The man has another triple-double, but they would rather talk about him walking away from a fight. Can never win. Could never win with these reporters, man. It's just straight hate. That's all they do is hate. That's all they do is hate on people. So please, Go rewrite that article. Because it ain't working. It ain't working. That's the silliest article I've ever read in my entire life. I'm going to leave the article linked below. It's been your man, Steve. Oh, boy. OKC did their thing against Golden State, though. Anyway, sorry for the lack of videos for the past 2 days. It's just I'm on vacation. I'm on Thanksgiving break, and just want to spend some time with my family. I'll be back, though, tomorrow. I got to go to the Apple, whatever. It's been your man, Steve. I'm out. Peace.